Now that's another story. I've taken the time to listen to Joe's side of the story to some degree based on interviews that I've watched that are out there. And I've listened to Mike and some of the interviews that he did, for example, with Oprah Winfrey, amongst some of the other people. And the stories are slightly different. Now, in my opinion, Joe doesn't really shy away from the accusations against him. He doesn't really deny them per se. He kind of hints around that he was tough, but he talks about how being tough is what saved them from the things that the other kids in the community in Indiana were going through. I have to admit, I think he makes some really good points, in his, in his defense, based on things that were being said. Like, for example, right, he said that they asked him, they said, well, do you think you were harsh? Do you think that you went a little too far with Michael and with his brothers and siblings? And, he doesn't say yes or no, but what he does say, express, he says that, well, if you think about it, none of our kids went to jail. They stayed out of the streets. None of them ended up dead before the age of, such and such, for example, 25-ish or so. None of them were adult parents and teenage parents. Like, they all kind of figured it out. Now, others might argue that, well, you were on them so tough. When would they have had time to even, get involved in any of those things? Which I get that part too, but it's a two-way street. And at the end of the day, none of us were there. So we can't really, in fairness, we can't really say what was and what wasn't, because you truly don't know what's in the house unless you're in the house. You know what I'm saying? And seeing it for yourself. Now, I do think it was hard. And one of the things about this movie, like I said, spoiler alert, he was very harsh, in my opinion.